Hey there, it's Sheldon with TigerTough here. Right now I'm going to show you how to put these seat covers on the rear seats of a Chevy Equinox. All right, let's put these babies on. So the first part we're going to put on is the seat back portion over here on the driver's side. So just put your hand in here, give it a pinch, and you can fold this forward. We're going to be folding this seat up and down a lot. Headrests can stay on. So I've got the cover here. It's the smaller of the two seat back covers. The seat back covers have got the TigerTough tags on them. TigerTough tag goes towards the door. And let's undo all of this hook and loop here, like so. And I'm just gonna get it up over the seat back and down over that headrest, like so. Then we're gonna start getting this baby twisted into place. So you can see the cover is really twisted right now. Just give that a spin. It's gonna want to fall into place once you get it close. And that's when the covers, the corners in the covers are lined up with the corners on the seat. Like that. Now before we get too far here, there's a little tiny hole right up here in the corner of the cover. And that is for there we go. So now that's poking out of that hole. We know we're headed in the right direction. And the cover pulled down. So as we get this cover worked into place, two things that we want to take into consideration is that this tether here for the car seats, make sure that that's lined up in that hole. Also very important is this hole right here in the back of the factory seat cover. Our cover needs to line up with that as well because the latch to secure your seat back is right there. So we are headed in the right direction. Now, before we get the cover all tight and secure, there's a couple of things we want to do to make everything look good. And I'm gonna start right on this handle that we used to release the seat. I'm just gonna work the cover around it, and the cover will actually tuck up underneath that plastic trim. So what I did, started up in this corner, worked my way around. That's the easiest way, is if you start in one corner and then work your way around. Next up, we're going to tuck the cover underneath this plastic trim around the headrest posts. The cover will fit fine if you go over top of that. It just looks better this way. Then pry this hook Velcro off of there. It always wants to stick to this fuzzy carpet stuff in the back of the seat. Then we just tuck these top flaps down in there and secure that. Okay. Now we're going to take these three flaps right here, run them between the seat back and the seat bottom, and secure them to the cover. So you saw how bad the cover wanted to stick to the fuzzy back of the seat. This is going to want to do the same. But if you fold it over on itself like this, it doesn't stick nearly as bad. Now I've got these three here just very lightly stuck together. The goal is for them all to ride underneath the seat and back up around the back together. If they don't do that, no big deal. You can still get them. So I'm starting to push them through, and with one hand, I'm pushing them up the back. Then as the seat folds down, they came right up there. It doesn't always work that great, but that's what you're aiming for. Now, to make these covers fit as good as possible, I like to start with these two outside ones, pull them out all the way to the edge of the seat here, and then pull them up as hard as you possibly can and stick them onto the cover. This just makes sure that the cover sits really, really tight against the factory seat. Now we just got this one here to stick on, and this one here to stick on. We're good to go. Make sure to move the seat belt out of the way. Slide the seat back, and boom, there we go. I'm just gonna push the cover off to the sides of the seat a little bit to make sure we got full coverage. And we're golden. Let's do the other seat back. We've got the whole seat back covered for this 60 portion here. This is a little more intimidating to put on, but I'm gonna break it down into some simple steps for you. So we got the whole cover, and just starting by undoing all of the hook and loop on it. Try to get it laid out nice and straight across the seat back here. And I've got the TigerTough tag. I'm going to feed that behind the seat belt, because that's important. And then we're going to just move the cover over until I can find the headrest hole. So that's over the headrest. Now what I'm doing here is I folded the seat ahead, and I'm just wrapping this around the corner, because now even though nothing is secured, that's gonna help keep the cover in place. And as soon as it starts helping to hold itself, it makes your job a lot easier. Now you can see it's over the seat back, and with it being wrapped around this corner and over this headrest, it's starting to hold itself in place. Now we can pop the armrest down and then start working the cover over the seat back. So the next thing that we want to focus on is getting the cover done up all the way down this seam in the back. And I like to start at the top, right there. Line up those corners, and then just start sticking it together as you go down. So it should look like that when you're finished. Now we can start getting this squared away on the front here. This piece right here just tucks on the side. Then I'm gonna take this long flap right here, and this is gonna go up underneath the armrest. So this is what I find works pretty good, is if you start pushing the cover up and then move the armrest up and down while you push the cover up, it'll slide right up the back. So this piece that you just put up is gonna go inside there, like that. There we go. So that's the inside of the armrest portion. We'll stick the armrest up there. This is just getting this tucked here. Perfect. Okay, see, now it's all coming together. We're not gonna tighten these or fasten these yet. We'll go back up on top. It's a good idea to tuck the cover behind this plastic just to help make it look more finished. And then cover goes underneath that plastic trim. And then the same for the seatbelt trim here too. Should go underneath that. This just makes everything look more finished and less like you quickly slapped the seat cover on top. We'll just take these, and this stuff loves to stick to this seat. This is a good thing. You want sticky hook and loop. Just peeling that off. Stick this down in there. And boom. One, 2, and 3. There we go. That's the top portion completed. Now we have these flaps here that need to go between the seat back and bottom, up around the back, just like we did on the other side. So again, it's helpful to fold it over on itself so it doesn't stick to the back of the seat. And then if you can get your fingers down in there, you should be able to feel it. Yeah, I had folded it over too far there, so it wasn't sticking up far enough to grab. Now, I'm not gonna get too crazy about tightening this down yet. I'm just gonna stick it there until I can get everything pulled through how I like it. All right, now you can really get after these here. Pull these up really tight. This one here, I'm actually gonna move over, pull it to the side as much as I can. Now this one here, you don't wanna heave it as tight because where these flaps here are connected really all the way up to the very top of the seat, this one's not. This one is only connected up to the bottom of the armrest. So I just pull it nice and snug, like so. We'll explain more of that in a minute. Pull that over nice and tight, pull that up, good to go. This opening is still good. Move the seat belt and tuck it back. So now you see this seam right here? If I had pulled that last flap that I said just to pull snug, if you pull that really, really tight, your seam will end up running down at an angle like this. If you get that, you can loosen that flap up until it's just snug, and then you can go up in here and just pull this up a little bit. That'll help straighten that seam out. But that's what you want it to look like right there. Now, I didn't have the cover quite hooked around the corner of the seat here, so I'm just gonna get my thumb up in there, pull it out to the side, and we're golden. Now let's cover that armrest. We're on the downhill stretch. It gets easier from here. On the armrest, the cover just goes over top like that. Then we'll reach in the front, pull that loop out of the hole in the cover, and slide her back. And this, gonna go up in here, just like before. I like to work the armrest up and down until this pops out. Pull it nice and tight. And that goes against the armrest. This top cover goes right over it, and you end up with something like that. Now we cover the bottom. So it's one side is smooth, other side has got flaps. The flaps go to the back. And this bottom is not removable. Well, anything's removable if you try hard enough, but it's not easily removable. So you don't have to take it off. The cover just hooks around the front of it like so. Is just pull the cover back. It actually tucks quite a ways up underneath the front, but you've got the seam in the cover here. This should be right at the top corner of the seat. If it's coming down around the front, you tucked it in too far. If it's back here, you haven't tucked it in far enough. Around the front, around the sides, and I'm happy with it. This piece here that I just undid, this needs to go around behind the seat belt, and then it fastens to itself so it looks like that when you're done. Now, we're going to, these flaps I'm just gonna kind of tuck up out of the way right now, because we need to push them through to the back in a minute, but there's a step we need to do first, and that is these ISOFIX anchors right here, which is where your car seats anchor in. It's essential that the cover goes behind these because these actually help hold the cover on. Start at the top like this, so one corner, tuck the cover in behind it, over to the other corner, tuck the cover in behind it. Then you can press the cover down and it's gonna go up underneath the bottom like this. That's how you want it to look. You could probably do it the other way, but it would definitely be harder. Okay. Now, these flaps that we just kind of jammed up in here, these are gonna go right up around and stick onto the seat back. So starting here, we'll just work them through and gently stick them up before we actually fasten everything down. Again, if you can fold them over on themselves, it's gonna make your job a lot easier. There is the first one stuck there just so it doesn't take off on us. This center one here is going to be your hardest one to do because you can't really reach around the seat to grab it. So I'm just trying to push it as far up the back of the seat as I can from the front. Got him. So the seat is so close to this plastic trim right here that it's quite hard to get your hands down in there. That's why it's easier to push it up from the front. So again, just loosely stick that there for now. Then we'll go around and do the same on the driver's side. This one's going to be one of the easiest to get through because once you fold it over on itself, you fold the seat forward. And then while you work the seat back and forth, you can reach around back and grab it because this is a much smaller seat. Now we'll just give these a good pull, nice and snug. Not too shabby. So this seat cover right here, because it's got this big L shape in the seat, and because the cover's not completely around the seat, it might be a little bit loose at first, but once you spend some time sitting in it, and you maybe have some car seats in here or people sitting on it, it'll start to take the shape of the seat after just a little bit. So if you have a few wrinkles or if it looks a little bit loose, don't panic, it's gonna break in. We'll cover the headrests and we're out of here. Alrighty, I have got 3 headrest covers. 2 are identical, 1 is different. The different one goes in the center, the identical ones go on the outside edges. So I've already got these headrests up. To do that, all you gotta do is just press this little button on the side, headrest slides up. You gotta pull it up. And then the cover goes right over top of the headrest like so. And then there's the long flap that hangs down the front that slides up the back and tucks in. And that's all there is to that one. We'll do both of these outside edge ones because they're the same. Good to go. The one in the center is slightly different. So here's the cover. I got 1 long flap here and 3 smaller flaps there. 3 small flaps go down the back, long flap goes down the front, and then they all just fasten together up underneath the center. And that, my friends, is the end. We're finished.